Now I'm going to try and show you quite quickly how to resize one of our images, or any image if it comes to that, using the Pixlr editor. Now I've chosen an image here, and I'm going to click on edit image. I'm going to try and keep this fairly simple. Don't want to confuse everybody. And there's the Pixlr editor and the images opened in it. Now there's 3 different ways of resizing. The first way is just image size. Now this will resize it like a photocopier or shrink something. It's best used when you want to keep something in proportion, e.g. the proportion of the width to the height. So if I wanted to change this from A4, and it's obviously portrait, and if I want to change this to, let's say, A6 portrait, now I've got there ticked constrain proportion, so if I put the top figure in, it should hopefully put the bottom figure in for you automatically. Don't worry about what these figures are, I will put it all in the help page. I'll explain a little bit about it in a second. If I hit OK on that, and it's now resized, so that is now A6 in size. You can read the size down at the bottom there. So I said it's best used when you want to keep something in proportion. If you want to change an existing portrait image to another portrait image, or a landscape to a landscape. What it doesn't do very well, it depends a bit on the image, but it will look a bit weird. If I undo that, I'm just holding Control and Z there to I've undone that, so we're back to the normal A4 portrait image. Now if I were to try and change it and make it landscape, so I go image size, and I'll take off the constrain there, and I'll try and change it to A5 landscape, which means that's still 1240, but this is 877, and you can see it looks slightly weird. Not too bad on this image because of the type of image it was, but it will look slightly weird. I've changed my page size. Let me just try and put that back. I find that happens sometimes when I hit the wrong controls. So it looks slightly weird. So on the whole, try and keep it so you're changing portrait sheets to portrait sheets and landscape sheets to landscape sheets. Don't try and mix the two up. I'll give you all the figures for changing it. As I said, that's a bit like using a photocopier to shrink something down in size. Let's just undo that so it's back to its real size again. So that's the first method of doing it, just resizing, keeping the proportions the same, making it a different size sheet. I will supply you with all the dimensions. Now if you wonder how we work dimensions out, all or most of my images are done at 150 dots per inch. So a 5x5 image would be 750 dots by 750 dots, and that will become apparent now. It's just, there's the image. Now what I'm going to use this time is image and canvas size. Now this is like taking a pair of scissors to the image, so you're actually cutting parts of it off. Now I just told you what would be 5 by 5, which would be 750 by 750. So that'll make a square 5 by 5 sheet. Now we need to decide whereabouts we want that cut. So I can cut top left, have a 5 by 5 segment from the top left, or middle top, top right, middle, so wherever. Let's take it right out of the middle, say OK, and that gives us a 5 by 5 sheet. One slight word of warning here: if you try and make a sheet bigger than the sheet you have, so I'll just explain. That's the sheet we have. If I was to try and make an image, no matter where I did it, which was too large, so if I said 155, which is larger than the width by 1500 by 1500, now that's bigger than the width, and if you have a look when it does it, it'll give you these edges, and that's because there's nothing to cut down. I've tried to cut it down to a size which is bigger than the original, so you can see the size of the original down here. If you think about it, you're cutting it down. You can only cut it down to a size smaller than it already is, but you can make, as long as it's smaller, you can make it basically whatever size you like, remembering there's 150 dots per inch. So if you wanted it 8 by 8, it would be 1200 by 1200. If you wanted it 6 by 6, it'd be 900 by 900. And again, I could use this and make it into an A5 or A6 sheet, and this time it'll be cutting it down to that size and not resizing it. So that's the second method of resizing, and there is one other method, which is to use the crop tool. Now on this, you just crop it, you choose the area, hit the crop tool again and apply, and it'll crop it to the area you selected. Now that's not very useful for card makers, etc., because it's going to be all sorts of different weird and wonderful sizes. You can see it's a bit of a weird size down here. So I'll undo that, and you have a choice over up here where it says no restriction. You can choose output size. Now I choose an output size. Let's say I want it 6 by 6, which will be 900 by 900. Now whatever area I choose on here, it's a bit hard to see that, but it has chosen an area, that will come out as 900 by 900. For that reason, I suggest the area you choose is always bigger than 900 by 900. If you want to see the area we've chosen there, it's 1220 by 1220. So it's bigger than 900, but it will shrink it to that size. I just hit crop again, say apply, and there we have a sheet which is 900 by 900, which is 6 inch by 6 inch. Now it will still do it. Let's undo that. It will still do it if you select a smaller area. So we're still selecting an area there, and you can see on the top right it's only 232 by 232. It's going to crop it, and it's going to make it 900 by 900. And as you'll see, you'll get a very pixelated image. So this is again 6 by 6, and it's quite pixelated and won't work very well with a lot of images, which is why I suggest you stick to images, or when you use this crop tool, you stick to an area which is bigger than the size you want. I want 900 by 900. I've said so at the top here, and I can tell top right here the area I've selected is bigger than 900 by 900, so that should look fine. Now, I hope you don't find that all too confusing. Obviously anything you do you'll then want to go off and save it down onto your computer. 3 different methods for resizing. Simplest way, if you want to keep it in proportion, is just use the image resize. Other than that, if you want to cut the image, you can use the 2 methods of crop, either canvas size or the crop tool. Have a play with it and see what you think. Thanks for watching, and we will have more Pixlr help videos soon.